the American name Morris Morrison from Norway, and he settled here before Mr. Shaffer in 1871. He was one of the first here, one of the very first you will meet in Olive Hill Cemetery, George Harrison. But my family, I'm Serena. I'm an artist. I painted a huge painting, which they say hung in the Kansas City Livestock Auction Building. And you people from around here, a lot of cattle from Jewell County went through that livestock exchange building. But I painted this painting. It now hangs in Kingston, Missouri in a sale barn. But I need to tell you about my family. My grandpa, Morris, lost my grandma. I never knew her in the old country, in Norway. And we came here in 1871, established a homestead here. You drove by Knuds, my dad. You drove by his homestead. Now, he didn't take a quarter like most people did. Most people, the northwest, southwest. My papa took the west half of the northeast and the east half of the northwest quarter because it was right along Norway Creek. And yeah, you know, this is Harrison Township, but there was talk of having it be Kleveland Township. But my uncle, that Martin Morrison, he was insisting on Norway Township. Nobody would go for Norway, so they settled on Harrison. But my grandpa lived here for several years. His stone is right over there. He wanted to be buried looking over Norway Creek because it just flowed down there. And now my house, after we'd lived 14 years in the dugout on the homestead, we built the house just over the creek and on the rise. It was a little house. Now, some people said it was not much of a house, but it was better than the dugout, I'll tell you. And in actuality, I, as Kermit Krause, was in the house because our grandfather, Claire Rowe, bought the place. And I remember being by my grandmother, a vaudeville, pulling on her skirt, telling her I wanted in that house. And we actually went in it. I, of course, was 5 or 6 and didn't remember anything so that I could tell you about it. But back to being Serena. We lived here, and you heard, yeah, reclusive, but I wasn't exactly reclusive. My name was in many a paper in the 1920s because I ran for the state legislature. I wanted to be the representative for this area, and so there were papers all over the state of Kansas that said Serena Cleveland was running for the legislature. And if you remember, we women had barely gotten the right to vote by that time. But I also did paint. But my sister Anna over here, she died in 1917. She painted also. My sister Clara, she was an artist. And if you go to the Burr Oak Museum, you will find paintings by both myself and Clara hanging on the walls. There's a whole little display of my family. Now, my brother Tom, he was known for 2 things. My brother Tom was known for his Buick car because I just can't hear people saying, oh, there goes that Tom Cleveland over the hills. It was big, it was black, and it could go fast. Now, my sister Clara, she was a little more reclusive. My sister Anna, yes. My brother Tom, not so much, but nobody talks about my brother Oscar. Oscar was just before his time. Oscar, they called him a mechanist. That man, he could make things run. Now, that was before the time of those huge tractors that drive by my road. Oscar, my mama, Tabitha, she had a sister, Judith. Judith married Mr. Tate. They had 10 kids. 6 of them never married. And 2 married so late in life, they had no children. And there were only 4 grandchildren. It was just amazing. We just didn't marry. My grandpa, he influenced a lot of people to come here. My mama, his daughter, Jude Tagley, his daughter, and then that Martin that I've already told you about, he homesteaded over there. But he went back to Norway. Then he ended up in Birmingham, Alabama as a photographer. 2 of my sisters, 2 of my mama's sisters, they were here also, but they went on. One went to Idaho and one went to Washington. But we were here for a time. Our paintings are still hanging in the museums, but our impact was that we started this country, and now we just rest and allow all of you to carry on. So that's part of the story of the Clevelands, and it's all kind of interesting. Keith and I have talked about it, with the exception of 1 year. Either the Morrison Cleveland family or the Rowe family have owned this quarter since 1871. We're the only 2 families. The other person that had it for about a year was Blaine Warren, and he and our grandfather. They were trading land and doing things together. So, with the exception of the time that his name is on the county record, either the Morrison or the Rowe families have owned this land. So, anyway, thank you for coming. There's not too many people that come to this cemetery, and when we move